now, broadcasting from the jungles of Southeast Asia, it is time for the Ed Namrock Podcast!
Oh shit. How'd you like that intro, y'all? Well, it's the first time debuting it. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Halen Solos, who was the first one to comment on the podcast. I love you. But again, we're having one of my personal favorite bands, Vie Jester, on the show. And up first, because everyone's, getting to their desk, doing their thing, whatever, is the front man, one of the main songwriters, I guess I could say, and the best looking one of the whole band. He is Mr. Voodoo Kyle. And yes, you are the best looking one. So, and I'm just being biased because I know you.
No, we got Clifford Conway, who looks like the Owens brother. What's his name? Luke Wilson. There we go. And then we got Matt, who looks like I don't know who he looks like, but he looks like the not Carlos Ponce, the guy from Couples Retreat, but he would look like a yoga instructor, like at a fucking Caribbean getaway, and he would talk like this, and he would be use your energy to make sure you do cat and dog and breathe in and breathe out. Oh, and then he knows all the yoga, bro.
I know he's a bigger dude than I am. He swears he's 6'3". I'm 6'3". I'm like, no, fool, you are like 6'9". Oh shit. Oh, and there he is. Joining us from the jungles of Southeast Asia, just like me. Thunder Dick. Oh,
how's it going, y'all?
It's going
good, man. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining.
Good to see you guys too.
Oh, you look at him. He's so fancy. He's got the AirPods on. He's got
AirPods? Nah, he's got a fucking string on him, man.
Oh, those are perfect though. I mean, I have bone to pick with those fucking AirPods anyway because they're just so. Well, first of all, I heard the battery life sucks.
I don't have a pair. My wife has a pair. I just don't understand why they've designed them the way that they have. The fucking microphone is all the way back by your cheek.
Yeah, and it's totally off axis, and you can't have it like around here. So it's kind of like, and then plus you. I swear, when I was working in Hollywood and these things first came out, I swear to God, I'm like, dude, there's just a plethora of fucking crackheads just coming out of nowhere because everyone's talking to themselves and shit. And I'm like, okay, this reminds me of the time that I worked at Singular Wireless back in 2005, and we debuted the Bluetooth headsets. They used to flash blue. And
that's right.
Yeah, they look like something out of fucking Star Trek and shit.
That was a confusing couple of years, when you couldn't see the thing on the ear and you just kind of catch somebody. You'd think they were talking to you just from
and now you can't see him at all. You're like, what the fuck, man? Like, okay, I remember seeing some lady walk up and down her street, and I'm like, she was saying, "Nah, fuck that. I'm not gonna fucking do it." And I'm like, she talking to me? What the fuck, bitch? What's up? Right. Well, what's out you banging, man? What the fuck? But no, it's like, I don't know, man. I think well, we'll get to when Clifford joins us. I know he's probably plucking his nose hairs right now, but
it's important.
Yeah, very, very. I learned that the hard way because if you guys have seen some of my stories, I wax the nose hairs. I don't know if you tried it, Matt, but
your wife waxes them.
You wax the nose hairs,
dude. It is okay. So what the lady that does my hair, that cuts my hair, I haven't been there probably 3 months, but they get oh shit, you're getting a shout out right here. Look at sup, Thunder Dick. Woo. What's up, Voodoo, like the web stream service. That's cool.
What's up, Psycho Sane?
Shout out. So they get a stick, it's hot wax, and they put whatever it is on the tip of the fucking, it looks like almost like a popsicle stick, whatever. And they put it in here, and then they go like this, and I have to hold a little piece of tissue like that so it doesn't rip out my fucking mustache. Leave it there for about 5 minutes, and then they just go, flap.
And this is educational purposes only. Please do not try this at home.
No,
bro. Yeah. Man, it looks like a family of black widows are just having a fucking kegger, bro, on the fucking popsicle. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're fucking throwing gang signs and shit. But no, man, I get those done. And check this out. Okay, so you're not supposed to do the entire nostril. You're not. You're supposed to do only partial. You're supposed to leave a couple of hair in there, so your nostrils can catch bacteria or any kind of harmful fucking whatever.
Yeah.
One time we did it too much. I swear I had a sneeze attack for like an hour.
Oh, damn.
It was the worst shit ever.
Too clean. It was just like an empty cave.
Look and tune in. She loves to pull the wax stick out. Of course she does. yeah. But when my wife Jen did it, she did it with such like purpose. Like she wanted to just rip my fucking nose off, man. It was the worst, man. I don't know if you've had that privilege, Matt, but
no. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't sound like something I'll be trying out anytime soon. I mean, I know we're all, supposed to come out of quarantine with, like new year, new me kind of shit, but I don't think that's going to be part of the new me. I don't.
Right. Okay. So Matt grew out his chin hair more. I noticed that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a bit.
You weren't that hairy when I last saw you. I think the last time I saw you was the last show.
God, when the fuck even was that? The Old Town Pub show?
Old Town Pub.
Yeah,
that was like a year ago.
That was the last one. And, we all...
Spring last year.
We all went our separate ways and did our own goddamn thing because we need to survive. But that was the last time I saw you. You were like clean shaven from here, very minimal down here. And you've always had something going on here, but I can't really tell.
Yeah, well, I mean, for a while, it was just a small goatee. But this like longer beardy, I mean, and this besides, that's all that's ever going to happen. That's
we have to sub-caption this podcast, the importance of male hair in, on, or around your face. That needs to be.
I'm just waiting for the females to come in. I do the same thing. I got a hairy ass nostril and a mustache. You're like, oh wow. But I mean, I'll just start bullshitting with you guys and wait till Triple C joins in. But there's a lot of listeners that don't know who you guys are. They know the band name, they know the music, but they don't. This is a chance for them to get to know you guys on a different level. And I'll start with Matt, only because I'm quick to go with Kyle all the time. We've done plenty of podcasts. Yeah, everyone knows Kyle's face, but
old news, bro.
I know.
I know, right?
So Matt,
you're the new kid on the block.
Yeah, I mean, we already know you're in the band, but how did it start for you? Like, where are you originally from? How did you start in music? And what brought you to, seek it as a career? Like, what did it all begin?
Got it. All right, good questions. So I'm from LA originally.
What part of LA?
I was born in San Pedro and
Harbor.
Grew up there for a bit, and then this was sort of like, I mean, I guess it's still sort of in the process of being gentrified, but our neighborhood was nice for a minute when I was born, and then people started getting shot and stabbed right down the street. And my mom was like, well, it's probably time for us to move, because I'd like to, take the kid in the stroller and that kind of stuff. So so we moved to the Torrance area, and that's where I grew up. So
Torrance is beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's cool, man. My mom's still there. My dad lives up on the hill now.
Oh wow, really?
So it's cool. Yeah,
that's how you made it, man. Torrance,
still get to see them both. And I mean, being a musician coming up in LA like that was also pretty cool, because I got to play a bunch of the venues that I originally saw my favorite bands in, when I was in high school before I ever started playing. Eventually got to play at most, or basically all of those spots, and some of them don't even fucking exist anymore, which is kind of crazy.
Tell me about it. It's heartbreaking.
So, and then how I started playing in high school, my friends put together a really bad punk rock cover band, and like they were legit so bad at their instruments that they, one of them couldn't play Blitzkrieg Bop and yell into a microphone at the same time. So they're like, "Hey, do you sing?" And I was like, "Nah, not really." And they're like, "Cool, let's be in the band."
Yeah, perfect. That's the vibe.
That's how it all initially started. I kind of tinkered around with guitar here and there. But when high school ended, I was originally going to college to study recording engineering. That was my initial plan. I was recording our band and our friends' bands on you probably remember these little fucking red Fostex boxes. This company doesn't fucking exist anymore.
The ones that used to be on sale every other weekend at Guitar
exactly. I'm a musician's friend. Yeah, like the
green tag sale, 1 weekend only. Yeah, right.
Yeah, recording to like those giant SD cards that no one uses anymore either,
or the short-lived mini disc.
Yeah, oh god, yeah, didn't even get into that. So I mean, when I was originally getting into that, I didn't even fucking know about Pro Tools, or I'd never been in a recording studio, any of that shit. It was just, we had a punk rock band and some of our other friends had punk rock bands, and so I tried to record us, and some of those recordings actually came out pretty all right, considering I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and the gear that I was using was next to trash, basically.
Oh shit!
That's punk for you, baby.
Oh shit!
That's punk for you.
Oh,
what
shit.
up, Cliff?
What's up?
Oh my goodness! Is he okay? Is he alive?
A new player has entered.
Clifford, you look really serious.
Choose your fool.
Cliff, you might need to put on some headphones. I think we're getting.
Put some headphones on, Cliff.
Cool. I think I got it.
Cool.
All right, cool.
No, I didn't need it because it was playing on Facebook.
We can't hear you, dog.
Wow. Can you hear Cliff?
Can you hear me?
Nope.
Okay, Matt can't hear you. I can.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Let me remove him and put him back on. Hold on.
That's weird.
Try again. It happens. How about now? Cliff, say something.
Hey.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, sometimes I got to remove him and put him back on. So for those who just joined us, Cliff was apparently plucking his nose hairs. So he's okay now. He looks sexy. He looks very sexy in his new picture with the 7-string guitar. So, but Cliff, we're just catching up with Matt first. So last you left. You were doing the recording thing. You're playing punk rock bands.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I initially went to college to study that. And
so where did you go to school?
So that's sort of the funny thing. The school I ended up going to initially had a pretty terrible music program, but their party system was fucking awesome. So I pretty quickly realized that I wasn't gonna, like, you know that old adage, those who can't do teach. That isn't always true, but I pretty quickly realized, look, if I want to do whatever for a living, I can't be learning it from someone who's teaching at a state university, because they're not doing it. So why the fuck would I want to learn from those people? Yeah, you know? So I pretty much didn't go to class and mostly just smoked a grotesque amount of weed and taught myself how to play bass.
Ooh,
and after doing that for like a year and change, dropped out and went back to work for a bit, and then ended up going to MI in Hollywood. And the only reason I knew about that spot was because the second year that I was there, I moved into a house off campus. And one of the guys who was living there was also working and saving up money to go to MI the following year.
Oh, so you lived in what I would call Middle Earth Hollywood, because it's not east and it's not west.
Correct. Yeah. For 1 year, for my first year at MI, I was living on basically like, what the fuck was the name of that street? Not quite Cahuenga, but the one directly west of that. And
so
Hollywood
it's
Boulevard.
Not Cahuenga, Cherokee, maybe
Wilcox. That's what it was.
Wilcox. Ooh, you lived in the hood, bro.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you, it's not a really fun pill to swallow. Paying
no, it's a great place to take the kids
for a single room apartment, and looking outside and going, oh, that's a homeless guy shitting in my planter again.
Like, okay, so we now we have soil. We can plant a salsa garden.
No. Thanks for helping fertilize, bro.
Wow, yeah, that's
rough, man. Yeah, Hollywood, you see some crazy shit. That's for sure.
Tell me about it, Matt. I'm sure, Matt, you've seen. Well, you were there early in the early millennium, right?
Sort of. So I was at MI from 06 to 08. That's when I was.
No, there. That was like the start of the ratchetness where people were just swinging dicks and pissing on each other, dude. That was good time.
I mean, there was some of that, man. Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't forget something like watching a guy take a shit and wipe his ass with his hand and then stick his shit
and
in
just
his
go
pocket.
flag.
Oh no! Didn't even like scrape it off. He's like, "Oh, I'll fucking save that for later in the pocket." Like, I don't. All right.
Brutal.
So obviously you're LA made, just like I am. But what really inspired you to, I guess, make it a profession? That's always what I ask people, because most people like to play for fun. They don't take it really seriously. Obviously, you were trying to record your fucking punk bands. You're like, all right, well, I can do it. Here's how we should do it. You go to school for it, and then you learn more. But at one point, there was one defining moment in your career. You're like, I'm going to do this shit for a living to make money off doing this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I first got into playing, it was something that I just really enjoyed the learning process. Is basically what it boiled down to. And aside from recording people at that point, I hadn't really come across anything that I was really inspired to do consistently. You know, that there's that fucking 10,000 hour rule, where in order to master any skill, you need to put in 10,000 hours. And the only way that's ever going to happen is if you actually love the work, love the grind of putting in the time to get better at the thing.
It's a commitment, man.
Totally.
Because if you don't love the process, you're never gonna put in the time.
I think that's a big problem nowadays too, is a lot of, I'm not going to say just people, but in particular in our industry, with not just music, but the audiovisual arts, from film to music to whatever. They're so focused on what it takes to succeed and the struggle, as opposed to just focusing on their quality of outcome. That's what I've been noticing. So,
I think the people who shine are the ones who are just doing it because technology is so available. You know what I mean? It's like,
I was going to say, it's right here, guys.
Yeah. These days, I mean, it kind of is a game of quantity over quality, you know, and you're just kind of seeing what bites. But for sure, I mean, I think there are people who are these days with music and with videos doing a good job, putting in the work. I mean, I don't know how successful these people are going to be long term. You know, it's kind of all about being viral and getting noticed right away. But
you guys can attest to this when I state that if you're doing this particularly for a paywall and not for the love and passion for it, and just for the sheer raw, you know, obsession of getting good at it because you want to, it's going to be short-lived if you just want to make just money and make it a job. Yeah, man.
I mean, to a certain degree, I feel like that's true for kind of any industry, but it's especially true of this one.
Yeah.
Just because that ceiling, unless you get to that next level, that, like you said, that paywall, that earning ceiling is just so low.
Wow, Andrew, is that
what's up, Drew?
Is that the German Valkyrie version of Vie Jester?
Vie Jester.
Wow. Well, Matt, I mean, now you're in the band. I've enjoyed you know, watching you play with the band and all that. You have a very interesting bass technique that I don't see a lot of. Okay, you and I you're taller than me, so you're a big dude. I never see big guys carry bass like kind of like you're at like a belly level right here. I always see them down low, and it causes them to do this when they're playing bass. You're kind of upright. Your posture is very good, and you know, humor me on this because I notice very little things about musicians that I'm like, okay, so that's how he does that. So I look at your fingers, I look at your footwork, I look at your head, I look at your neck, I look at your shoulders. And for you being a big guy, I look at his eyebrows.
Matt's got the power stance.
Yeah, sure. You're pretty static like this. And I've seen a lot of bass players, from fucking Fieldy from Korn to Dave DeRue from Edema, like all these guys, and you know they have different styles. So my question to you: at one point, everyone develops their style with their instrument, right? What was your I guess I could say, what was your one thing or one defining moment, one style you're like, okay, this is how I'm going to play it only because it's more comfortable? And that you go through different, positions before that, before you settle on
definitely,
one.
Man. I mean, but when I was back at school, I wore my bass really high.
Tom Morello style or what?
Yeah, totally Tom Morello style. Because when you wear your instrument that high, it's really easy to keep your left wrist straight.
Yeah,
and stereotypically, that's the wrist that you end up developing tendonitis and carpal tunnel problems with your fretting hand.
Totally.
But what actually ended up happening for me was sort of the opposite, in that when you wear your instrument that high and you're playing a bass and you're playing finger style, let me see if I can show you here. Your hand ends up doing that thing.
Yeah, like a classical
Zoom in
guitar.
more.
So what ended up happening is my right hand is all fucked up now.
Oh shit! Really?
I've got pretty bad tendonitis and carpal tunnel in my right wrist. Just from
that's very common in bass players, I heard.
Yeah, and I mean when I was at school, part of the great thing about going to MI, maybe the best thing about it, was the fact that it just forces you to play so many hours a day. But since there's a lot of that, repetitive motion stuff going on, you can develop overplaying injuries and that kind of thing. And that's just what ended up happening, trying to play too much and too fast without getting a proper warm up. You have technique class at 8 a.m. and the building's still cold, and trying to play too fast, too early in the morning. And so after that started happening, I guess went through a phase where I was just sort of dropping the bass lower and lower and kind of figuring out where the ideal positioning was in terms of sort of everything, really.
Yeah.
You got to find that sweet spot with sitting and standing and all that.
Yeah, honestly, even the aesthetic value of it, because for me, like you said, I'm a big guy, but a lot of that height is actually in my legs. So another thing that I noticed looking at live photos of myself is I just looked fucking goofy with my instrument that high because it
I look like a centaur.
Covers up my torso, and all of a sudden I'm just all legs. It's like fucking legs and a head. So I realized to not hate every photo that was ever taken of me, the bass had to sit a little bit lower. Unfortunately, that helped out my wrist issues too.
Now, did you ever, a lot of like old, like late 90s, early millennium bands, they would jump and kind of like on cue, like just kind of like, I guess on the transient, we'll just time it and then go. Did you ever do shit like that in the past?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was in a punk rock band initially. That was, those were the kind of shows that I went to, and that's
bro, that shit's important. That's par for the course.
That is the punk rock wheelhouse right there. If you don't know how to pogo, you don't know what's going on.
Exactly. if you're not spinning your guitar around your neck and trying to catch it on the downbeat
and getting the lead singer decked in the forehead and then stitches right after the show, that's punk rock, baby. Right. But Matt, dude, that's awesome, man. And now you're in the band. Now you're still doing stuff. We have a little surprise during this podcast that the three of you so solemnly produced, and it happens to be one of my favorite songs. I already told Carl like 1,000 times. But yeah, shit. I mean, that's Matt. Okay, how do you pronounce your last name? Is it Dennis or Denis?
It's kind of up for debate. I've been pronouncing it Denis lately. Denis. I kind of like that a little bit better. Yeah.
That works. Okay.
No,
part of your heritage or what?
So my real last name before my legitimately crazy grandpa changed it was Yakowitz.
That's Polish.
That was
fucking awesome.
Very Polish. That was the familiar last name.
Just gonna hit the bench press until we start out.
Oh shit! Cliff is gonna do some reps, baby.
Hold on. Wow. I just want to say something. So Matt is, we're lucky to have him. It's not like, all that now you're in Vie Jester. Well, Matt has an awesome career that he's, as a musician that he's done for years. We were actually chasing him for a long time. I think, Matt, I text you as early as I want to say like 2016, 2015.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe not.
When were the shows that we played together when I was still playing with Socionic? When was that?
Like 2017.
Okay. Yeah. So right around that time. But honestly, I think I found your listing somewhere either Craigslist or like Band Mix or something. I don't know. I remember it for sure. And I hit you up and didn't hear back from you, and then we ended up playing together. And then kind of that was a way that we started to establish a relationship. And at that point, when Socionic disbanded, because you were so busy, you had some free time, and we were lucky enough to pick you up and jam and do some shows, which have been fucking super awesome. And the plan is to cut a record, soon. But last year, Matt was on a sick fucking world tour, or excuse me, national tour. Right. And anyway, so yeah, just wanted to make sure that we knew that this guy's super credentialed.
So you're saying that christianmingle.com does work, and you found Thunder Dick, and
yes,
it's
sir.
all working out now.
Why doesn't Cliff have a nickname, by the way? We need a nickname for that guy.
He just named himself Cliff. Oh. You get to pick your own name.
I don't think I named myself Voodoo Kyle. Did I do that? Well, I must have done that last time.
Well, you can enter your name regardless, but I'll go next to Cliff, and because Cliff is, I would say, after just recently watching his YouTube videos, his playthroughs. By the way, if you don't know, he's on YouTube. It's Cliff Conway, right? Cliff.
Yeah.
You're one of my favorite drummers of all time. And I'm not blowing smoke up your fucking ass because
Cliff's fun to watch.
No, he's fun to watch. I didn't know he can play that fast before. I knew he could play fast, but I didn't think he can play. I didn't think he wanted to play that type of stuff. And then I seen
Slayer
Snuff. Right. And then it was an Angel of Death.
Slayer.
Was it?
War Ensemble, yeah.
War Ensemble.
Yep, just gotta work on that stamina.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
that's what she said.
Yeah.
Well, we used to play, fast death metal and even, speed metal back when we were, teenagers. And I'm sure it wasn't as clean way back then. But
I must have done that last time.
You can see it's
I'm hearing some other. Look at that. I'm hearing some other stuff. So I got a little confused.
Is that Clifford again turning up his volume? God damn it, Clifford.
Anyway, I got confused. I started hearing some other voices again. No, I'm kidding.
So Cliff,
what was that?
Okay. Nobody knows you here except for us. We got a lot of people tuning in, watching. Where did it start for you? How did you get started in music? I don't even think I asked you this question before. Oh, the aliens caught him. God damn it.
I'm trying to get the laugh at.
See? All right, you got it?
No, I started with this guy in elementary.
So you started playing right at elementary?
Both got guitars in the same month.
The same month?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking like destiny, bro.
Seriously.
Well, we were just
when did you lose virginity? In 5th grade. Now we were fucking nymphomaniac.
Summer of '93. Which fine. That's good.
Cliff got his guitar, and then I got mine shortly thereafter. I think for Christmas.
Oh, so drums was not his first instrument. That's right, right?
I think Cliff. You went guitar, bass.
No, it was first skin flute, and then it was. No, I'm just kidding.
He was like the foreskin.
Edit that out.
We ended up just
I didn't think about what I said. No, I'm just kidding.
We ended up jamming in his parents' garage for years. And,
no, wait. So Cliff, you played guitar, or you can still play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the first song you learned on guitar? Don't tell me it was Wonderwall.
Nope.
What was it?
The meme wasn't around back then.
It was the Hulk Hogan theme song.
Real American from Eric Derringer? No. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I want to say within like 4 or 5 months, Cliff and I were playing at a talent show for our 5th grade class.
How cute.
We played Come As You Are by Nirvana. But they wouldn't let us do the part that said, no, I don't have a gun. They're like, you guys can't sing that.
Wow. Yeah, how appropriate for school.
I don't have a gun.
That was our argument. They didn't.
Should have just changed it to a bun. No, I swear that I don't have a bun.
Within like 4 or 5.
But Clifford, when did you start playing drums though?
Like in high school.
Oh, so you started later. So you were like, you thought you were destined to be a guitar player and a bass player.
Yeah, somewhat. But
somewhat. Yeah, this motherfucker, he can still play though. He just got a 7-string guitar. I just saw that shit.
That shit is sick too.
So you started playing drums. What was the first song that you learned on drums?
I think it was Misfits.
Yeah, but which one? There's a ton of Misfits.
Oh, London Dungeon.
Oh,
This dude still remembers.
One. Okay,
That's great.
Okay,
Never forget your first.
I know. Huh?
It was
Just ask Thunder Dick. So, Cliff, you learned a couple Misfit songs. What was the most challenging song that you first learned on drums? You're like, fuck, I gotta nail this shit, and then you learned it all the way through. And the aliens got
I think it was probably Pantera Walk.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
But what was so difficult about learning that song? That's something I would ask a drummer like you. Since you're
I
so
think it was like the snare hi-hat play and with the kick drum, which is very generic, but
well, I mean, because everyone knows simplicity is
at the very end of the song when at the end of the outro, for some reason that snare, that cat, it's a cat. That really like blew my mind. I was like, "Wait, how's this?"
Yeah, there's some interesting syncopation going on.
No, well, I mean, was that like your first taste of fills on the drum kit? Like, did you even know what the fuck?
For some reason, that was being like really tricky. I don't know why.
You know what's funny, dude? I remember being in your basement while you were working on that, and I was trying it too. And I was like,
really?
Drums are wild.
God. Kyle's a monster on the drum kit.
The double, the right left. It kind of comes out of nowhere, and it's like different than the rest of it. So I think that kind of throws it off.
Yeah, those moments are funny, man. When you're learning an instrument and you can vividly remember that one part of that one song that just fucked with you for weeks. You know, you're like, all right, so damn, why can't I get this?
So he learns Walk from Pantera, and then what? Did it just boost your confidence? You just start playing more and more, and then before you know it, you were Neil Peart or what?
Overnight.
Yep. Pretty much.
Overnight.
I was looking at the Facebook right now.
Just blessed.
There's like a 10-second delay on Facebook. Do you know that?
Why are you watching it on Facebook? Of course, there's a 10-second delay. You're supposed to watch it in the browser.
No, that's where the comments are. That's where the comments are.
No, the comments are to your right. You have to click on the little comments thing.
Oh, live comments. Oh shit! I was in private chat.
And then for Thunder Dick, you have to tap on the screen. If you tap on the screen, you'll see the little comments thing. Matt.
Okay.
I feel like it's better doing it on Facebook.
See?
It's
tap on the screen,
or on the right, it should say like comments or something like that.
There's a.
Yeah, I got wow. He tapped the wrong button.
He tapped the wrong button. This is awesome.
So yeah, I've got a live comment. He was on his phone, so the setup might.
Matthew!
No! Thunder Dick returns.
Good
hey,
Lord,
welcome
man.
back.
Yeah, good one. No, it should be like somewhere, because I did a mobile.
Well, I mean, on the bottom of the screen it says chat, and I went to push that button, and then it kicked me off.
Really?
Yep.
Thunder Dick. Oh.
Well, then Cliff is self-explanatory. Please check out his YouTube channel if you really want to be fucking impressed, because Clifford.
Thank you, Edgar. Appreciate that.
No, I mean this shit because I'm like, fuck. Now I don't know why you're not renowned in this area. I know you're renowned in your hometown of Monrovia, right?
Sure.
Like everyone knew who the fuck you were.
Nah.
Sure. Why not?
I have a few covers coming up, like that are pretty cool. I'm gonna do Tool, Fear, Inoculum.
Oh my god, you serious?
And that one's like, it's fucking crazy working on it. It's fun.
Wow. Okay.
Jen says we got.
That might take me a month or so.
Well, the reason why we got that feedback is because he was watching it on Facebook and not on the actual stream. So Clifford was on his Facebook tab.
No, yes. Yeah, I think she might be right. I'll turn it down.
Well, that's what you get for wearing headphones, man.
Yeah, I can hear it.
But to now, Kyle. Obviously, you started playing with Cliff, but you basically took it to the next level. I mean, I know you can also play bass, but your specialty is guitar. But let me ask you this. Yeah, you're an awesome guitar player. You're probably one of my top 5, man, to be honest with you. that I know personally. I mean, there's a realm of fucking guitar players, but
thanks, bro.
Steve Vai.
Fucking
Kirk Hammett.
You're like Kirk Hammett. Wow, I think he's better than Kirk. But
I learned from Kirk.
You play guitar and sing.
That I do.
Okay, that's not an easy task, dude. It's not. I had to learn that in a month as an adult. When did you learn that? I'm sure you learned it early, and you're like, "Fuck, I can't get the hold of this shit." And what was the first song you tried to sing and play at the same time?
Man, that's a great question. I don't know. I think I didn't start trying to play and sing at the same time until I was like in my 20s, because Cliff and I, we had a singer in our death metal band in high school, so I didn't have to worry about it then.
Oh shit! Okay.
And then we went for a while trying to look.
R.I.P. Jeremiah.
Right. Yeah, he passed away recently.
Death metal band. Wow, you hear that, Thunderdick? A death metal band.
I'm a little upset that I've never heard any of these recordings. Honestly.
Oh, we got them.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm sure you got them. Why haven't I heard them? Feel fucking left out.
You're like, bring out the cassette player.
We used to do like Deicide and Cannibal Corpse and bands like that. But anyway, so it just never really fell into my lap of like, oh, I should learn this because, that's my role. It was never really my role. And oddly enough, I never really had an interest in singing. Then after trying to find a singer for many years, I just started trying to sing and play. And when it comes to
know your role and shut your mouth.
Honestly, I mean, it was kind of like that. It was kind of like that. I didn't care for it that much until
that's bizarre.
We needed a singer because Cliff and I tried out a lot of guys, and we go to the Guitar Center and you look at they used to have the bulletins back in the day, and you would take like the little piece of paper for the phone number, and you call some guy and he shows up in your basement or in your garage.
99 out of 100, you're trash.
Yeah, there's that awkward, 30 minutes of you guys trying to click and trying to vibe, and it's not working because he sings power metal, and you're just like, what the hell,
Audition players is the fucking worst, man. When Socionic had to audition guitar players, we literally auditioned dudes for a year.
Oh, Lord.
We had to have seen at least 50 guys.
Dude, it's hard.
It was just...
Well, Cliff and I, we didn't see that many. That is a lot. You guys were definitely going for it. It's really my fault because I'm super picky.
Matt's
what I mean, dude? I'm super picky when it comes to like what I want to do with music and
oh yeah, you like that? There you
go. They sure don't. You can.
They definitely do not.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm picking about who I want to work with, but at the time we were just trying whoever, and so I ended up singing as a necessity, and I've always been pretty good with rhythm.
Yeah,
obviously it's kind of like how you start. When I was introduced to metal, I played a lot of Metallica, and the rhythms are fast, but they're not super complicated. So singing over that,
you just got to downpick like a motherfucker. That's it.
Right. Singing over that,
king of that,
was a great progression. And I happen to think that Cliff and I kind of popped into learning our instrument into the genre of heavy rock music at a perfect time to learn, because the first thing we did was we learned like grunge stuff, which is really easy, right? And then we really got into metal, which is a little bit more difficult, or a lot more difficult, I don't know, whatever, but it's simple enough to understand. It's just the speed that requires some time. And then we got into more proggy type stuff. So it was just a real perfect progression of skill and interest. And anyhow, yeah, singing and playing for me, as far as the Metallica stuff, wasn't super difficult, but trying to do covers of like Tool or other artists, that's when I started to really get challenged. When you have a singer who's separate from the guitarist,
totally,
and they're doing, rhythms, and they're being very loose with their vocals on top of a very tight guitar part, that's when I started to get real challenged, and that's when I had to, really get the metronome going and, just try to figure out how to syncopate those things. So
yeah,
I would say that the two things in my musical experiment and adventure that really challenged me the most were learning like Van Halen solos. Trying to learn those notes right.
Remember Christian?
Yes. Yeah, they were badass.
Insane.
Yeah, Christian was fucking crazy. That guy was nuts. The bass player was the one who sang. He would be tapping like these solos and singing. Anyway,
and singing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I remember you were learning some of that. You were trying to learn some of that. That was crazy.
Right. Just sweeping stuff. It's again, when it gets to metal, it's really not that complicated. It's just about the speed. It's really, really fucking fast. But anyway, yeah. So, singing and playing was my second most difficult challenge for music, and I got to a point where the rhythm aspect kind of just got into this area of my brain where I didn't have to think about it that much. And I kind of feel like that's where I'm at now. It really, for me, and this is what I teach to my students, it's about how many songs you learn, how many times you've learned all the variations on the rhythms, and so that it feels natural. If you've only done 10 variations, then, 11 and 12, you got to work on those. So yeah, I've learned so many songs over the years that can pretty much handle whatever in the genre.
Yeah, some of that classical stuff you used to learn was like mind blowing.
Yeah, I got into a period of time where I was learning like bossa nova and traditional classical stuff that uses a lot of counterpoint.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, so the counterpoint is like
I learned some Beethoven songs.
Yeah, I definitely
put out a classical album.
I put out 3. When we say put out, I literally just recorded it myself and gave it to my family and friends for Christmas.
I remember he had like a Christmas CD that he had passed out.
I have 3 of those,
and it was him like with the whiskey glass like this.
Yeah, that was the second.
It was so
that was
like,
the first one.
It was so dark and morose.
That was the first one.
I'm
actually,
like, pop that shit in.
Yeah, I did some classical albums. Yeah, I should revisit that, man, because I've actually gotten better.
All right.
But anyway.
Well, shit, man. I mean, everyone's got at least somewhat of a synopsis of Vie Jester. But I'm gonna play a song that the 3 of you so solemnly put together. But we'll talk about the background of the song after we play it.
For sure.
But let me just compliment you guys on how well crafted it was. I'm assuming Matt did a lot on the recording.
It was Matt's idea.
Okay. Beautifully, put together. It's different. I like it. I'm so used to the original, obviously, but this rendition I really like. Let's discuss, because I have questions about the song that I never really got answered before, and we'll take it, one story at a time, because I don't want to, jump the gun with anything that I don't know about yet. So, but for those tuning in, I am going to play one of the songs. I believe it's one of like track 5 or 6 on the. God, yeah, you guys have so many fucking albums. Which one is it? Enigma, right?
What's
Enigma? Enigmata. I say Enigma. Enigmata.
Track album. 3 on the latest EP.
Track 3. Okay, so but the minute I heard the song, I fell in love with it. It hit home, but I don't know what the lyrics are about. So we're gonna tune in.
Actually our most streamed song on Spotify. I'm like, what?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, John Shay.
All right, ready, guys? Let's play this shit.
I like that, dude.
Once there was a child born with love, and it smiled, but life turned that away, and so began the heartache. Now wandering down the back roads, I'm looking to escape. Let's go play and intoxicate with moonshine. We glisten in the sun, but go cold, thinking about the darkness. A tear rolls off her eyes, stay away. I know it's too late to get back. I peel the skin away, then she says, eclipse my memory with Cabernet. Let's drink it like moonshine. still shifting around our shadows. This isn't just a phase you may change. The crescent moon is calling. It's time to recreate the soul knows your pain. Break your chains. Let's radiate. She peeled the skin away that I said. Eclipse my memory with Cabernet. Let's drink it like moonshine, 'cause we're burning to hold tomorrow far away. Let's soak up that sunshine. Just wasting time. Waste away the side of me, chained to a rock, crushing till I bleed. Taste the love dripping off of me. This blood is spilling, the pain fades away. The pain fades away. Eclipse my memory with Cabernet. Let's drink it like moonshine, 'cause we're burning to hold tomorrow far away. Let's soak up that sunshine. Just wasting time. Those wasted times. A wasted mind.
Thanks to Edgar for the background visual.
Easy, just use Instagram
So we're not just
mobile.
We're not just sitting here staring at each other while it's.
Matthew.
Yo, that was
It's not even
awesome.
bad though, dude. Honestly, on the stream, it was
No,
all-
everything here is not going to be in high quality. Even Thunderdick over here knows that.
Yeah,
It's
so apologies to Matt for he worked super hard trying to get this thing sounding great, and for it to debut sounding like that, it kind of sucks. But I mean, it's just there's only a handful of people chilling with us, just our friends. We're gonna obviously share. We're gonna share bigger
cool that they do it live. But when you hear the real one, you're gonna be amazed.
That's with a lot of stuff that's on live stream, especially with live streams. I mean, it doesn't do any justice, but nonetheless, man, it sounds great. It's well put together.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now the question is,
I just want to say for anybody who wants to hear it the way it's supposed to be heard, we'll be putting it out early next week. Officially, hopefully we can get it. That's up to Matt. I think we might have one more render master that we need to get back. But anyhow, I think it's one of the best recordings that we've ever done, and that's funny because Matt did the whole thing like on his own. Basically, he recorded it for us at Cliff's place, and we did vocals at Matt's place. So it was the epitome of like a home recorded track, and Matt just busted his balls trying to make it happen. For sure, Jaime. We love it, brother. I'm glad you like it, man. Thank you. And anyway, so that'll be out sometime soon. The proper mastered version.
I think
with a
that
lyric video.
I was gonna say that sounds. I don't think you guys have to do any more than that. I mean, that's as loud as it can get. And if anything,
I'm actually just gonna have it mastered a little bit quieter than that. Just seemed a little bit too squeezy on the super loud bits.
Oh, the dynamic. I mean, we're talking audio geek here. Shit. Yeah. I mean, for those who are consumer minded, when you let stuff breathe. The best comparison I can give people to that are not familiar with our work, our industry, is when they watch a movie and they complain that the dialogue is lower than the explosions in the movie. That is called dynamic range. That's exactly what Matt and I are familiar with, as well as Kyle and Cliff. But
I've never
it's
heard
good, man. Regardless, I mean, I can't wait to hear the quieter version because that's just going to sound much better.
I sometimes think that when I'm at home eating my food, and then they're talking, but the sound of me chewing my food is louder than the talking, and then shit's exploding. Because I turned it up because I need to hear them talking over my chewing, and so I do understand that to some degree.
A lot of the older movies are worse in that regard too. My wife and I watched fucking Air Force One the other day.
Oh my god, dude!
It's impossible.
Yes,
you have to literally just ride the volume on the remote.
Oh, with
Harrison Ford's fucking mumbling.
Hey,
and
Matt,
all this
love that movie.
I want to tell you one thing, Matt.
Yeah,
get off my plane.
Get off my plane.
That was good.
So at this point, I'm going to play a little game with you guys, and you guys are each going to give me your input on, I guess, your opinion. We'll start with, we can do it collectively, but as a matter of fact, we'll do it collectively. We're not going to do it one at a time because it'll take too long. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
Here we go.
Yeah. No idea what you're talking about. Let's go.
You ready? It's a question. You guys going to answer it collectively, and feel free to elaborate or on your answer, and just give me the crazy shit you can think of. So, did Paul McCartney die, and was he replaced by a stunt double, like a double?
Yes. Nah.
No way. How could a stunt double be
Thunder Dick? What do you think?
Dude, actually, Eddie, I know about this.
I'd also say no. Yeah. But
it's hard to prove.
I also don't really care. Like if he died and some other dude's now like playing with all his money, I mean, good for him, man.
Yeah, that other dude is one talented.
He died. You look like him. You play like him. Okay, come on. Next.
Yeah. Get it.
And the reason why Clifford might touch on this is because in 1966, Paul McCartney died in a car crash, supposedly. And he was secretly replaced by a lookalike named Billy Shears.
I've heard the rumors.
That's what I was looking up right now. What's the guy's name again?
Billy Shears was the name.
On the first album, he does look different, kind of.
Yeah. So I mean,
he was friends with the band.
I'm going to say no. But then again,
dude, there's a lot of people.
1966, so a lot of shit happened back then too that is totally undocumented. So
yes, and so they had to have known this guy before he died, because they sing his name in the intro to "With a Little Help from My Friends."
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's a character in Sergeant Pepper in that album. Yeah, he's like one of the characters in Sergeant Pepper.
I forget about that.
That's actually a popular conspiracy. Like a lot of people.
You guys ready for another one?
Yeah, shoot.
All right. Did Avril Lavigne commit suicide in 2003?
What?
That's a popular. Like, people say that too a lot.
I haven't followed her career enough.
I'm going to give the same answer. No, and I also don't care.
You fell into the Chad Kroger effect.
No. She was with, what's his name? Derek Whibley before she was with, and here's the thing is the reason why Derek Whibley supposedly fell into depression and alcoholism is because she did kill herself and he had to play the role of still being with the fill-in.
So what's the fill-in's name? Also Billy Shears?
No, fuck. It's
remember when she? Oh, go ahead.
So Avril Lavigne succumbed to depression in 2003 and killed herself. Her record label couldn't accept the loss of a cash cow, so it did what anyone would do and replace Lavigne with Vandella, who will now be known as New Avril.
Britney
I don't know who the fuck is Vandella, but that's fucking
like her first name is Van.
I don't know. I guess so. I don't know her real name either, but Yeah, so I mean, Thunderdick doesn't give a shit.
Wait, no, I mean, I really hope she didn't kill herself.
But it's like, you guys ever seen this thing with Avril Lavigne where she does not like to be touched by her fans, so she's always like maybe like 3 feet apart for pictures.
Oh no,
it's kind of like how
bizarre fucking thing,
Reeves never actually hugs the people who ask him for a picture. He always keeps his hands separated.
Who?
Keanu Reeves.
No,
that's just smart, my dude.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to catch the
inverse effect.
That's totally smart. All right, you guys ready for the next one? I'm sure you guys will remotely care about this one. All right, Clifford, you ready?
This will be interesting when one of us actually really cares and is in.
Stevie Wonder isn't blind.
He caught the mic stand.
Stevie Wonder isn't blind. Matt?
Yeah, so I saw the bit about him catching the mic stand. I mean, look, we've got a reality TV star as president now, so anything is possible in 2020. But yeah, I mean, what would I like a good conspiracy theory as much as the next guy, but there's got to be a point to the deception, right?
This one is really, really interesting though, because when Stevie Wonder was born 6 weeks premature in 1950, doctors didn't know that the highly oxygenated environments of newborn incubators could damage the human eye. So Stevie Wonder suffered the consequences and would go through the rest of his life blind. At least that's what he says. Over the years,
I guess that's what I'm getting at.
What's the story?
What's the benefit to him pretending to be blind?
Isn't him besides Ray Charles? Wasn't he the next basically person that was blind that's in line for stardom because he was so talented?
He was at Motown young.
If you're blind,
I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, that guy would have been fucking gigantic whether he was blind or could see. It didn't really matter.
Good point.
They say some people sell their souls.
He caught a mic stand, which is bizarre.
That's pretty. I mean, maybe it's just some of that Daredevil kind of shit. He's been blind for so long that his ears gives him like radar.
I'm leaning towards heightened sensory perception.
Wow, really?
Maybe not extra sensory, but other senses. Yeah. And maybe he's not 100% blind. Maybe he's 90% blind. You know, but he still there's like a GIF of him lifting up his glasses, or it's just not a GIF, but it's like a short video, and you can see his eyes are all white and gray.
It's kind of like Batman when all the bats are flying and he's all tripping out like.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder's like that all day.
He can sense the environment.
Are you ready for another one?
Sure.
We still got time for a couple more.
Why not?
Katy Perry is actually a grown-up John Benet Ramsey.
Oh, that's weird.
Yes.
Let's just go to the next one.
It was he's like this rabbit hole. I'll give Matt a synopsis of what it is. I mean, Kyle won't comment because it is bizarre as fuck. I'm sure Kyle's watched this before, but it was birthed on YouTube just like any other conspiracy video. But the video says that John Benet Ramsey's parents sacrificed a young beauty queen so that she could become famous later in life. And then the guy that did the video proves this point with photos purportedly showing showing that Ramsey's parents are the same people pretending to be the parents of Katy Perry's character. He also blends pictures of young Benet Ramsey into pictures of grown-up Katy Perry, arguing that the features line up perfectly, but they don't. But it's fucking bizarre nonetheless.
I mean, how could the features line up? That we're talking about a 20-year-old versus an 8-year-old, right?
Yeah, right. But it's like kind of like that's the other one I saw.
Also, though, that doesn't really line up time-wise, does it? Like how?
No, it doesn't.
How old would Joan Benet be now? She'd be like fucking 40.
But you know what does? Which I saw like that Michael Jackson was really the same person as LaToya Jackson. Have you seen that one?
Is this number 5? This is number 5.
No, I just ran into this one.
These are getting weirder.
It's always like, was it up next or whatever videos are queued up on the right side.
I have to ask you something, Edgar.
Yeah.
Who gave Katy Perry one of her first big breaks?
Payable on death, POD. Shout out to Sonny Sandoval and Marcos and all those guys from SD.
No way.
Gym Class Heroes.
Big, she had a song with you.
She did do Gym Class Hero, right? That's right.
Yep.
Oh shit! I ran into like this weird one about Bob Dylan.
His son was Jacob.
No, that apparently Bob Dylan stole "Blowing in the Wind" from a random New Jersey high school student. Did you hear about this one, Kyle?
No.
You know the song "Blowing in the Wind"?
Yeah, I actually play that song.
Yeah, so
I perform it.
The theory will point to a 1962 performance of Laura Wyatt's band at his New Jersey high school. The band played "Blowing in the Wind," and Wyatt told the school paper he had written the song. So when it appeared on Dylan's album the following year, those who heard it before assumed it was theft. So apparently he stole the song. Which it's very credible because it's happened a lot in this fucking industry. You guys know this. That's something that is that's like a big no-no. It's like joke stealing for comedians.
But worse.
But yeah, way worse. It's like the whole what was it, the Stairway to Heaven lawsuit that happened not too long ago. And then the Marvin Gaye and what was his name?
The Pharrell.
Yeah, the Pharrell.
Pharrell and
Robin Thicke, right?
That one was fucking stupid, though, man.
It was
even T.I. owed money. Come on.
Like, why did I owe money, motherfucker?
I think T.I. was the only one.
Just in the video.
Yeah, T.I. was the only one who didn't owe money out of Robin Thicke and Pharrell.
From what I heard, the linchpin of that whole suit was there was an interview where Pharrell openly admitted that they used it for reference.
Yeah, but that's not what stealing a song is, though.
Yeah.
No, but then
but it held up in court, I guess.
But that's just ridiculous. It's just like it's not the same melody. It's not the same chord structure. They borrowed some rhythm elements.
Percussion.
I agree that to me the rhythm section is the only thing that sounds the same.
Yeah,
that's
and
not
according to
it sounds like it's bottles, like you're hitting bottles with sticks, you know.
And refresh my memory, Matt, because you and I went to school for this stuff. You can't copyright percussion.
No,
correct?
No,
yeah, it's uncopyrightable.
Can't copyright a drum groove.
No, you can't.
None of that. So
a lot of that is open. What's it called? What's the term? Open, not open source.
Fair use.
Fair use. There you go. Yeah. That's why we had the most sampled drummer of all time, who was a jazz drummer. I forgot his name, and he just recently passed away. Yes. What was his name again, Cliff?
Clyde.
Yeah, he died like 2 years ago.
Yeah. And every hip hop artist like literally sampled his shit. That's like fucking crazy. All right, we got time for one more, and this is a fucking bomb, dude, because this is a band that I was heavily influenced by in the 90s. So,
and by the way, just so that we can get to the questions that I thought you were going to ask about the song.
This turned into what I was going to ask is,
let me take it back.
Did
fire this one off, because I got to get going.
No, all I wanted to know. Well, okay, let me fire this one off, and you tell me about the song, because we jumped the gun on this one. But Kurt Cobain wrote "Holes," lived through this.
Is that the album or just one song?
Yeah, the first one.
Oh, well, that's what I heard. Yeah, and then also
Kurt Cobain wrote that entire album for Courtney Love.
Yeah, they probably wrote it together, man.
That's a great fucking album too.
It's a fucking classic, but apparently, so Hole put out 4 albums during its whole run, and Live Through This came out in '94, and undoubtedly it's a fucking masterpiece. Why? Because Courtney Love wrote it? No.
Yeah, but the way she sang it too was important. You know, she did a good job.
But
one of the best front women of rock and roll ever. She was just fucking crazy, you know. But she had that extra thing that you need to have on stage, and it was just like you couldn't take your eyes off her. Good singer when she was on, you know. when she
it's
was
kind of like Gigi Allen, but like a female.
But ultimately, Courtney Love,
right, Matt?
killed Kurt Cobain, right, guys?
For sure she did, and she definitely wasn't as crazy as Gigi Allen. That guy would like literally throw his own shit at people during the show.
Oh God, that's prime.
I don't even know who Gigi Allen is.
Yeah, he's like an OG shock punk rock guy.
I know who Gigi Allen is, dude. That dude's insane.
Yeah,
insane.
Yeah,
legit insane.
Yeah, nice. I don't know who's more insane, him or Sid Vicious.
I'd say Gigi is way more insane. Sid was just a junkie jerk off. Sid was,
and he just got wrong place, wrong time, and he did some stupid shit, and now in the story. So,
by the way, I don't even know if we've actually said the name of the song that we streamed.
Oh, I didn't I say Sunburn and Moonshine?
No, sir.
Okay, so the name of the song
to confuse everyone.
Sunburn and Moonshine. No, you guys said it, and you guys said the track listing is like track 5.
There we go. Hopefully that's enough.
Okay,
track 5.
Well, anyway, back to the song.
Sunburn and Moonshine.
What is it about?
So, I mean, it's really kind of simple, to be honest, but it just gets into the intricacies of the situation. It's about trying to forget your past through alcohol. So it's about alcoholism. But it's more than that. You know, it's about really being able to find comfort in something that sedates you and allows you to just feel good. Because that, I mean, obviously it's one thing to just say, oh, it's about alcoholism, and then people look at it negatively. But then there's this whole other level to it, where if you've ever, you know, been through that or been with someone who's going through that, there's a lot that's going on, and it's almost hard to want to take somebody away from wanting to feel better, because that's what makes them feel better, you know. But at the same time, you know that it's kind of tearing them apart. So look at the lyrics. I'm sure we're gonna have a lyric video for it.
I'm looking forward to it. That would be badass. So
yeah, so it's about, you know, someone who's in a relationship with someone who is, you know, struggling with substance.
Wow. Okay. So because I know the Erase My Memory with Cabernet. Is that correct?
Right.
Let's drink it like moonshine. What do you mean drink it like moonshine? Boy, moonshine you sip, you don't chug it.
Well, no, you can only sip it for so long. You can only sip it for so long before you're fucking, you know, swishing it. So, you know, the let's drink it like moonshine is, it's. I think for most people, you can kind of be more subdued or more. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, more controlled with wine. Whereas with moonshine, obviously you would get more carried away. I've never actually had moonshine, but I've had Everclear and I've had 151.
I don't remember taking it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, you take 151 or Everclear, it doesn't take long.
Yeah, those Diablo shots with 151 are killer. It's basically a 151 shot, Matt, with Tapatio in it.
Oh God,
that'll make a dig.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah. Well, listen, Kyle, Matt, Cliff, I want to thank you guys for being on the podcast. You know, we made it short and sweet because there's a lot of things you guys have got to catch up on. I didn't want to scare you guys with all these conspiracies because you guys won't sleep at night. I know Cliff will pee himself in the bed.
It's for fun, man. It's actually kind of interesting.
But just to remind everyone, follow Vie Jester on Facebook, follow Vie Jester on Instagram. Obviously, the name has been ticking at the bottom of this fucking podcast for the entire hour and 8 minutes that we've been on. New single will be coming out as early as next week. But they do have, you guys had 3 EPs out?
Yep.
3 albums out? 3 albums out on all major streaming platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, I'm sure Tidal, Google Music, YouTube Music, whatever you stream on, it's on there. And if you're an audio geek like me, maybe hit them up for a hard copy and have them snail mail it to you.
So I just want to also shout out for Matt. You know, Matt is doing recordings and he's doing mixing and stuff, and Cliff is also tracking and mixing for probably any genre, but mostly towards the hip hop genre. So if there's anybody, if we can get this out to anybody who's interested, you guys share with your friends. And
especially now with everyone being at home more often, it looks like we're going to be at home again. That from what the powers that be are saying, are hinting. Now is the time to be more creative. Now is the time to reach out to those people who do have the resources, such as Matt, such as Kyle, such as Cliff. I specialize in podcasting, so you can hit me up as well, even if it means getting tips and tricks on how to set up your equipment. Well, now you guys have known how to do this for a long time, but I just recently started helping out people. You guys have the resources to help people out too. Hit up Matt. I believe it's bass player Matt.
My Instagram handle.
Yeah.
Matthew the bass player.
Matthew the bass. Fuck, no one had that.
Yeah, I got MatthewTheBassPlayer.com too. Yeah.
Wow.
Somehow.
Wow.
It's hilarious.
Wow.
Bought that shit like 10 years ago.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then no, go ahead.
Sorry. Well, I was just gonna say, and we're gonna be hopefully soon really getting it down and figure out what we want to do with what now has to be a home recorded EP. And, this will be our first one with Matt on it. So we're super pumped about that. And we've got the skills and we've got the equipment and we've got the time now. We're all just kind of sitting at home.
Can I make a suggestion? Because I'm a big fan. I've been seeing all these bands do live streams. Can you guys do a set?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'm down.
Yeah.
Will you engineer it?
Yeah, dude. Totally. We just got to pick the location. That's it.
There we go.
That way, we can have the ice cream man in the background. We can have the bench press. We can have the bench press right there. And
that's important.
Very aesthetic. Yeah, I would just love to see, if I can't see you guys play at a venue, I would like to see you guys play at least, online, and then get it recorded, and then I could play it back. So,
sure.
But also hit up Cliff Triple C, also on Instagram. He's on YouTube. Check out his YouTube channel. Hit him up here on Facebook. He also has a setup, depending on the area, you pick and choose. I believe Matt's in LA. We're over here in SGV.
By LA, you mean Pasadena?
Yeah. So, just according. We all do different things. Also hit up Kyle. Kyle's still teaching guitar.
Right. I give classes.
He's doing remote classes, so be sure you teach too, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, he teaches bass. And Cliff, I don't know how drummers would teach drums remotely. That is so weird.
Thomas Pretty does it a lot.
Yeah, I know.
It's possible.
Nonetheless, guys, thanks again for being on. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having us, man.
Appreciate it.
Maybe we'll do a follow-up for the upcoming live stream. We'll make that happen.
Yeah.
But thank you again for being on, guys. I appreciate you guys.
Our pleasure.
Awesome, brother.
Peace out.
Take care, guys.
Peace.
Cheers.
All right, y'all. That was Vie Jester. Thank you again for tuning in. For those that are very unfamiliar with the band, I have followed them for quite some time. They're particularly like one of my favorite bands that I like to listen to on the reg. But check them out. Don't hesitate to, explore new things. I always like to throw out original bands that I've always been a fan of. And the reason why I'm a little more compassionate about stuff like this is because I used to play in original bands too. So right now is the time to support, local bands, whether they're playing covers, whether they're playing originals or both, whatever. Be sure you support these people. It's dear to me to have you show support, even if you hit them up for a t-shirt, whatever. A lot of these bands have merchandise. I really would appreciate. Maybe I would have a Ed Namrock podcast t-shirt coming up soon, but please check them out. They're on all major streaming platforms. Thank you again, guys, for tuning in. Much love. Wash your hands, wear your mask, even though there's a lot of people that are refusing to. And we'll see you soon. Take care.